up everybody, welcome back to Low Luxury. Today we are taking a look at a pair of Yeezys, and we've looked at Yeezy slides, we've looked at Yeezy 450s, the Mo's, whatever model those are. I've got a pair of 350s that I wear all the time, and I would consider myself like an appreciator of Yeezy, but not like obsessive about it. I'm a little bit skeptical, but in general, I'm a fan of what Kanye does. But today we have probably the one that I've been most excited for because I've heard some really mixed things about these shoes, and I don't even know if shoes is the right word because today we are looking at a pair of Yeezy foam runners. This is the Onyx colorway, and you can see right off the bat how insane these things are. I've been waiting so long to get my hands on a pair of them, so I don't want to wait anymore. Let's dive in. Yo. Before we get too much further, subscribe to the channel. I make tons of luxury and streetwear content. And also, if you're looking for deals on luxury and streetwear, check the description. I've got some of the best sites with all authentic stuff. Check it out. So first, I want to talk about the box that these came in. And I'm not even talking about the shoe box. I'm talking about the box that the shoe box was packed in. Because I think it's really interesting that I got these from Adidas, but there are no Adidas markings anywhere on this box. It's just like completely plain, and all over it, it's like tamper evident, all over it says that. So it's basically saying like, hey, nothing to see here, but even if you do want to take a look, don't bother. And I'm guessing that has to do with all of the recent kind of packages going missing for like hypebeast sneakers from Nike and Yeezy and all this stuff. So they've kept it very, very low key. And that extends to the main shoebox itself, because this box is also totally blank. Like, take a look at this. The top is blank. The side is essentially blank. The bottom is essentially blank, but I'll show you some of these details. But normally on the top, you'd see the model name and stuff, but here you just don't. You get very, very small the trademark information in the bottom left of the bottom side. And then off on one of the sides, you get this sticker, which again, it really does not say what it is. It just has the size and a barcode and then some numbers and such up on either side going over here. And that is it. They really do not want anybody to know what these are. But that ends when you open the actual thing up. Because right on the inside in big black lettering, it says foam. You get a little rounding at the edge, really more of like a diagonal line at the rounded edges of these, except for the O, which is really smooth. You get a kind of like neutral cream, I don't know, off-white gray stock paper, very shiny. And then you get these shoes themselves. Again, I don't even know if it's right to call these shoes. I kind of call them like sandals, like closed sandals maybe is a better term. But man, these things are wild. It's almost like a crazy, like futuristic concept sports car, more so than a shoe. The lines on these are just insane. And my first impression, it's very pliable, very rubbery, very foamy. You can really like press into it. Very similar to the fabrication, I don't know what you call it, the materials in a Yeezy slide. Oh, and by the way, behind here, you get RNR, foam runner. And even more interesting, let me take this out, and that is where you get the sticker that would normally be on the outside of the box. So Yeezy foam runner, little guy up in the top left, US 11, French, UK sizing, model number, colorway, all Onyx, originals, made in China. We just saw that the 450s are made in Germany, but these are made in China, and then the barcode and everything. And that's it. It's on the inside, which is so cool. All right, let's look at the tags here. So the first tag comes attached to one of the shoes, and it's on this kind of like piece of twine, like copper-colored twine here. And attached to this is this little like cardstock tag, and it's going to have all the same information we just saw on that sticker. We've got a QR code, RFID, Yeezy foam runner, originals, male, you've got your size 11 over there. I'm not sure what the 720 is. That's the same model number we saw on the sticker. Barcode, and all of the sizing information down at the bottom here. The back of this has all the fabrication info with some symbols off on the left, And these diamonds are spaced like just to the left of the punch out for this string. And I'm really curious what this is made out of. So it is synthetic. That is all they give you. They're not going to tell you what it's made of. Synthetic. That's all it is. So it's some sort of rubber or plastic type deal. And that's that. On the inside of the shoes, you do get little stickers here. And again, this has all that same information we've been talking about. If you want to take a closer look, you can pause that here and take that closer look. But just make sure all that information matches and everything. All right, now for the fun part, we can talk about the actual shoes themselves. And I was immediately surprised by a couple things. I was surprised by how tall they are. Because I was like, if this thing is supposed to fit your entire foot and fit it kind of comfortably, wouldn't you have a ton of space up here on top of your foot that would be kind of weird and uncomfortable? So I'm really curious about that for sure. But you have lots and lots of airflow. I'm curious to see how they breathe. And I'm really impressed by how clean these lines are. Like, look at how these cutouts, they start deep and then they get smaller and smaller until they meet up over here and it's even. Every single one of these cuts is super clean, and you're not seeing like any molding. I can't talk. You're not seeing any like molding lines or anything anywhere. Only molding line you get is along the bottom of the shoe, where clearly this is made in two parts. It's the upper and then the bottom, and then the two halves of the mold close right there. So the mold line you get is right along there at the sole. And it's not clean either. You can see where it moves kind of in and down. So follow that molding line if you're looking at yours and make sure that's what it looks like. The front, again, it really does look like a bullet train or something. You get these cutouts here, obviously very like alien inspired, organic feeling. So wild. And you get a big jut up at the back of the ankle right here that really holds you in there. And then you get this counter that juts out in the back a bit as well. A little bit of junk in the trunk there. The sole is going to be very familiar if you've had any Yeezys before. You get all these, like, again, very naturalistic feeling indentations. Also a little point here at the front, which is interesting to see. And it goes in more shallow up here and deeper back here until you get to this very last one where you have the Adidas logo pressed in there. And now the inside is probably the coolest part, because the one thing I had heard over and over again about these shoes is that they're really, really surprisingly comfortable. And as soon as I unboxed them, I figured out why. It's because of this dotted structure that is inside there. Each one of those dots is a little bump going on there. So it presses in, it's a foam, so it feels much more ergonomic than your normal Yeezys. And those continue along the back of the shoe on the inside, and they're also up on the side walls as well. You can see them jutting out right there. Alongside the inside of this wall, you do get some stuff pressed foam, RNNR, so it's two N's instead of one. Like the box print just is RNR, but this has two N's. The size, this is 11 US, and then made in China. And that goes all the way along here. And you'll note that this opening is very wide here, or long and skinny. That's another thing I was kind of confused about, because I thought if you put it on, you'd want it to be more of an even circle so that it's grabbing your ankle evenly. But here I feel like it's really going to grab your ankles just at the sides and leave these open spots at the front and back. So that's another thing I'm really curious to see how it feels. But at this point, I think that's all I have to say about them, because they really are quite simple. It's one type of fabrication, one material, all cut out with just two pieces molded together. So at this point, it's all down to how you feel it looks and how it feels. All right, now that we've seen the details, it is time to try these on to tell you how they feel, how they fit, all that good stuff. Oh man, I am so excited to talk about these. I'll tell you right off the bat that I have decided to keep them. Pretty much anytime I buy a pair of Yeezys, it's up in the air whether I'm going to keep them or not. I wait until I try them on. This was my first time trying them on. And yeah, I'm keeping them. Like the last pair we looked at, the 450s, I did end up selling those because while I liked the look, I did like the look, I was not really impressed with the fit and feel. And this is like night and day. It is a bit weird. You can see there's a ton of room on top of my foot, between the top of the shoe and the top of my foot. But it kind of makes it feel like you're not really wearing anything. There's so much more airflow going on there. It almost feels like you're just perpetually walking. You know, like those kids' play mats that are like giant jigsaw puzzle pieces that are like just this memory foam or whatever? That is what it feels like. It feels like you're just walking on a giant one of those pads that just goes on infinitely. It's so cool. And you can see that my foot does have a bit of play inside the shoe. Like as I'm walking, my heel comes up a bit, but the sides really grab you in there really well. I can shake the shoe. I can shake it as much as I want. It is not falling off or anything. And that is because it's really gripping you. As we saw with the shape of that top opening, it grabs you on the sides of your ankle and not on the front or back. And I thought that was going to be weird, but even though it's maybe not like the best way to do it for keeping it on, it makes it much, much easier to get them on and off. And that is what really matters, because if you had to squeeze your foot inside this tiny circle every single time, they would not be fun to wear. It would just be a hassle. But this makes them really easy to get on while still holding your foot in place as you need to. So they've kind of got the best of both worlds there. Now let's talk about sizing real quick. I normally wear a size 10, but for these I bought a size 11 because that's what they tell you to do. They tell you to get one size up, and I feel like they fit well. They are a little bit roomy, but I think if I'd gotten the 10, they would have been too small, so I would take their advice and get the size up. So I know I'm keeping them, I really like them, and now the last thing I'll need to figure out in the future is what looks do I put together with them. Let me know in the comments what you think I should wear these with. These are new to me, so I'll be learning. Yeah, what a cool pair of shoes, or sandals, I guess, whatever we want to call them. And those are the YEEZY foam runners. Make sure you take a look at the other video on screen here, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I'll see you next time.